Hey, Adam Lavelle back with you to talk about Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 76 from Texas. Guys, I am biased as hell because I am hooked on this stuff like crack. I just needed something like this in my life, and no, I'm not going to pronounce that on every single video. But no, this was a very, very fun and exciting card. There might have been two bouts that weren't over the top exciting, but still very enjoyable to me. Much more enjoyable than any other sports combat out there. Look, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship isn't really, it's not MMA at all. And it's not boxing really at all. I guess you could say it's a little bit of dirty boxing if you want to define those terms. But generally, this is a sport in and of itself, and it is king of the hill. Now, I know, yes, there's bare knuckle boxing out there, which I enjoy as well, very much, and I'm going to be covering that too. I'm going to be watching that show today at some point, talking about it tonight, tomorrow, very soon. In my opinion, so far from what I've seen, I prefer Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Edges it out just a little. I can't even really tell you why. Sort of like the presentation, sort of like the look, the feel, the hype. I like the owner. I like Feldman. I like how he pays his fighters if they fight their ass off, and you can see that he does that in the way that they fight. I don't know. As of right now, I'm loving it. I think I'm going to always love both of them. Could my loyalty to who's number one switch over time? Maybe. Who knows? Who cares? They're both great. I wish them both tremendous amounts of success, and I hope they're around forever. I hope I'm an 80, 90-year-old man. God willing, I live that long or longer, and I'm still online talking about this. I really do. I could be the old man bare knuckle fan, if you will. I am talking to a friend of mine, Chuck Ransford, who worked with me on commentary in professional wrestling. He's loving this too. I assumed, I believed, I thought he would, and he absolutely is and does. We're talking about starting a show together, so you don't just have to hear my voice and look at just my face. Maybe calling it bare knuckle banter is what we're batting around right now. But let's jump right into this. This first video, I'm going to make two videos. This first one is about the prelims. There's a chance, some people just don't care about the prelims. I think that's a shame. Nothing wrong with any of these fighters. It isn't like they're rookies or something. It's just that a main card, they don't want it to be 4 hours long, so they break it up. The free fights, prelims, and the main card. Everybody does that. I enjoy both tremendously. I really do. So let's jump into the prelims. It started with Roderick Stewart. I think in my preview I accidentally called him Roderick Strong at one point because there's a fairly well-known pro wrestler named that who I know personally and have worked with and around for years, so sorry about that, old Roderick Stewart. Over James Gray. He gets the win in a very solid 3-round match. These prelims were only 3 rounds. I like that too, because the shorter a fight is, the more desperate the fighter has to be to score points, to get the takedown, to get the win, to get the knockdown, what have you. They really do. They have to work harder. You have 6 minutes to beat this guy? Well, then you better work your ass off, brother. And both of these guys did. Stewart and Gray gave a tremendous fight. Stewart did win by unanimous decision. I think it was right. He landed more strikes. That's the bottom line. That's not the only thing they judge on, but that's a big indicator as to who might win. Like if somebody threw 80 strikes and the other person threw 50, and the person who threw 80 strikes landed, 60% of them. I'm not going to go into a breakdown on how I think the scoring works because I could be completely wrong. But Stewart scored more points here. Stewart was just a little bit more impressive, but that's taking nothing away from James Gray. This was a great opener, a great prelim to get us hyped and get us ready for everything else that was to come. I always forget to move my mouse over so I can scroll through my notes. The second fight of the night, I'm hoping I can pronounce this guy's name, but probably not. Jeremy Sauceda taking on Israel Rodriguez. And another solid fight, even though it did end in the first round. Rodriguez pretty much, I believe this was the bout where he pretty much turned his back. Could be wrong. Guys, I do have notes, but if I took notes on every little stinking thing, this show, this YouTube video would be 2-3 hours, and I really don't want to do that. I don't have time in my life for that. I am just here to hype Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship and put over all of these fighters and try to get you excited about it and get you more into it, get you interacting with me and other fans. But Sauceda pounded Rodriguez relentlessly in the clutch. Basically what happened, they did clutch up a lot, and in the Dirty Boxing, which is another company I know, but in the Dirty Boxing rules, if you will, you're allowed to hit and punch in the clutch. You are allowed to grab somebody by the back of the head and neck and try to hold them still while you punch them. And that's pretty much what Sauceda did here to completely take out Rodriguez here in the first round in the second prelim fight. Solid stuff. Just much better strategy for Rodriguez, and Israel could not escape his clutch and his grit. Simple as that. And finally, the third match here, the third fight, if you will. Again, an old pro wrestling fan is going to accidentally probably say match. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but fight is the more accurate term. Of course, this is the one I was looking forward to. Rookie to bare knuckle fighting, but professional bull rider. And I've watched that stuff here or there. I probably should watch it more, especially since I have become a huge fan of Cameron Delano. I think I was saying Delano, and it's Delano. This guy was everything he was cracked up to be, everything I thought he was going to be. He took on Jesse DeRosier, I think that's how you say it. Again, forgive me if I'm wrong. I will get the names down eventually, I promise. I used to cover Japanese wrestling. It took me a few shows to get all those names down. There are some English commentators in pro wrestling that still can't say El Inglominables. I'm forgetting it, even though I know how to say it now. But anyhow, I digress. Sometimes foreign names, Spanish, Japanese, Hindu, different types of dialects. Sometimes I don't get on the words. I'm reading them as how I see them in English, or trying to put a dialect in them, and I fail miserably. So Jesse, forgive me if that's the case. But this went all 3 rounds, which I think Delano was sort of surprised by that. But he does turn up. His corner pretty much told him in the 3rd round, if you don't put him away here, this is a toss-up. I don't know if you're going to win. And that charged this guy up. He came out there throwing like... I mean, they were throwing the whole fight. Don't misunderstand. Now, Jesse has this... and I saw it, I think, in the women's fight, where he waves his one hand out in front of him the whole time, like trying to block, trying to distract. And I think that's a good tactic. I think it does throw the fighter who's trying to come in and under, right? It sort of does throw him off a little bit, and it threw Delano off as he tried to get in there, because their reach was, Delano's reach was much shorter, about 8 inches shorter. So he had to bob and weave. He had to get in there under the defense of Jesse, and he did it in the 3rd round. He just went balls to the wall and knocked Jesse down for the 3rd time, down and out. Fight over. Cameron Delano wins his debut, and I think he's going to be a big deal. I mean, I'm partial to the Cowboys. No offense to the Indian. I am partial to the Cowboys. Shocking, if you will. There's just something about them that screams manliness to me, screams the old ways, screams that I wish it was sort of a day and an age we could sort of go back to. I don't want people dying in the streets from gunfights or anything, but I just think Cowboys are some of the coolest dudes that walk the earth. I just always have, and I always will. So like I said, sign me up as the president of the fan club of Cameron Delano as he takes out Jesse DeRosier. In an exciting 3-round fight. After it was over, Bryce Hall comes in. He's a more well-known fighter in bare-knuckle fighting. I haven't got to know him yet, so please forgive me. But that will be a big fight from what I understand. They get in a pose off. I mean, they were friendly to each other, but they get in a stare down with their dukes up, with their fists up, ready to go after the fight. It looks like it will be. Will Bryce Hall... Not that it will be. It shall be. It will be Bryce Hall versus Cameron Delano. These were your prelim fights. There were 3 of them. They were all pretty solid, pretty good. Well, they all were very good, all very exciting, all different. I mean, we had a 5-rounder that was very good. We had a 1-rounder knockout that's always exciting to see. And we had a 3rd round knockout. So all very different fights, giving you a taste of everything that was to come. And baby, what's to come is pure perfection in combat sports. I'll be back with the main card video in just a second.